Hello again, Internet. This is Olin from What I'm Listening To. It has been a couple of weeks since I have moved in to my new place in San Francisco, and things are going quite well. I think I've adapted pretty much to the city life, at least on my side of the city. Right now, it is pretty rainy and not as sunny as the last vlog I filmed, but I'm not here to talk about the weather. I'm here to talk about music that I've been getting over the last couple of weeks. In the last vlog, I showed off some things that I got when I first got here, as well as some extra stuff that I picked up before moving here. The stuff I'm going to show you here are things that I've been getting here and there from Amoeba and from other places, just whatever. It's not as much as my last vlogs because I'm trying to save money, and likelihood is I'm not going to be putting out vlogs as often because, well, I'm trying not to buy CDs as much because living in the city is very expensive. But with that being said, I will show you what I got, and if I get more stuff in the future, then I'll try to put out a vlog. For now, here's what I got today. The first purchase is the Japandroids' brand new album. This band is awesome. I love these guys. This is an album that I was anticipating on getting for the new year in 2017. They announced it, I think, in December or even November. This one is, I think, like their major label debut. It's not as raw and garage rock oriented as their past stuff. This one is a lot more clear and a lot more produced. What I like about these guys is they are really melodic. I'm kind of a sucker for melodic stuff, particularly melodic rock, not like poppy stuff. The songs on this particular one are very uplifting, and I don't know, it's something about it is very positive, and I think I kind of needed this album because as I'm transitioning from moving on to living on my own, there are times where it's quite scary, so this album has been kind of helpful for my transition. This is such a good band, such a good album. Love these guys. Thank you for putting out this record. Next one. This is actually one I've been meaning to get, and I could never find it until now. This is Terry Riley's album, A Rainbow in Curved Air. This album is only 2 songs, but they're both like 20-minute songs. He incorporates elements of classical compositions with electronic elements and even some ambient bits. This one always pops up in What's in My Bag. People love this album and have said very, very, very good things about it. Back when I was looking for it, I asked one of the employees if they had this somewhere, and the guy said that this is actually a really popular album, so it wasn't available at the moment. I think it was the other day when I was perusing through Terry Riley's section, I found this, and it was only $4.99, and I was like, alright, I guess I have to get this, even though I wasn't really planning on buying anything that trip. It's so good, and I really enjoy this. This is like great stuff to put on, especially if you're studying. But I'm glad I found it, especially for this cheap. Next up is Jim O'Rourke's Bad Timing. This is one I've also been looking for, and every time I would go to Amoeba, I would check Jim O'Rourke's section and see if they had it, and on this particular trip, they did have it. This album is only 4 or 5 songs, I think it's only 4 songs, and it's just mostly him on guitar, along with some other instruments here and there, but it's mostly just him playing around on guitar. This album is what got Jeff Tweedy from Wilco involved with Jim O'Rourke, so he was a huge fan of this CD, and then he contacted Jim, and him, Jim, and Glenn Coche, who would eventually become Wilco's new drummer, formed a band called Loose Fur, and they put out a couple records. Coche eventually joined Wilco while they were recording Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, and during that whole debacle, when there was some tension between Jeff and Jay, they eventually got Jim to come in and produce the record, and destroy what Jay Bennett had created, and needless to say, Jay got kicked out of the band. But that's all, you know, whatever. This album is very good. It's very cool. I love the cover. There's no information other than on the side here, but you know, you look at this record and you're like, I have no idea what this is about. I've been listening to a lot of experimental music while busing to work, so I got this with busing in mind, so I'm excited to have this on my earbuds while I'm getting to work. This next one is actually not for me. This is for my mom because she wanted it. This is Leftfield, Leftism. I don't know a single thing about this person whatsoever. It was in the electronic section, and I guess my brother showed my mom a song of his, and she really liked it, and she asked me to go find something by him. She knows that I go to Amoeba a lot, so when she wants something or wants me to look for something, she calls or texts me and says, look for this, and when I'm there, I go look for stuff. So when I see her tomorrow or today, I will hand this off to her. I already stole it and put it on my iTunes to give it a listen. Even though I'm not a big fan of EDM music, I mean, it could be good, I have no idea, but this one's for you, Mom. Last two are the two albums I think I'm mostly excited about, and they're both by the same musician. This is Gruber. I'll start with this one. So this one is called The Man Who Died in His Boat. Gruber is this ambient psychedelic folk musician. She makes gorgeous music. It is so good. I bought an album of hers called Dragging a Dead Deer Up a Hill some Amoeba and Chill ago, and that was my formal introduction to her music, and that's usually everybody's formal introduction. It's her most accessible record. This one is the follow-up from that album, and from what I understand, this album is like B-sides from the Dragging a Dead Deer sessions, as well as a couple other things. It's just creepy, fuzzy stuff. I'm a sucker for ambient music, and of course, you know, I had to get this when I saw it. I didn't expect to find this record when I was shopping, but when I did see it, I had to grab it because whenever Amoeba gets stuff by Gruber, it's gone in a flash. Like, that's how popular her stuff is, so I'm super happy that I found this one. And the second Gruber record is her most recent release, is called Ruins. This one is not nearly as experimental as her past work. Her past work usually has involved her playing on guitar, adding some fuzzy atmosphere to her music, and to the point where you can't even understand what she's singing about. You can just hear her voice. This one is just her on piano and singing. And from what I understand, she was on vacation somewhere outside of the US where she sat down and I think just hit record and just played piano and sang. When I first heard this, I wasn't sure if I liked it or not because, well, I was anticipating more experimental ambient stuff, and I listened to it once before and I thought, okay, this is pretty good, and then I put it on a couple hours later, and I think that second playthrough is what actually got me to buy this. I loved it the second time through. And because it's raining right now, this is like really good rainy day music, and since it was at Amoeba, like I said, Gruber stuff is not easy to come across, so I saw it and I just had to get it. So I have 2 more Gruber records to add to my collection, and I'm really excited to own these. Okie doke, internet, that is it for me. It is probably time for me to get myself put together so I can go to work. As far as vlogs are concerned, They're probably not going to come out nearly as often just because I'm trying not to spend all my money at Amoeba. I am planning to do more stuff, though. I have an idea for a vlog series that I want to incorporate. We'll see what happens with that. But until then, this is Olin from What I'm Listening To, signing off.